The abandoned Grimwood orphanage squatted like a diseased toad at the edge of the dying forest, its broken windows staring blindly into the perpetual mist that clung to the grounds. Sarah Chen, a paranormal investigator, stood at the rusted gates, her equipment bag heavy on her shoulder, while Marcus Reed, the skeptical journalist accompanying her, checked his camera with trembling fingers. "They say no one's lasted a full night here since 1987, Sarah whispered, her breath forming ghostly wisps in the unnaturally cold air. The temperature had dropped 20 degrees the moment they'd crossed the property line. Marcus forced a laugh that died in his throat. Ghost stories sell papers, but they're just stories. Yet his voice wavered as he noticed the complete absence of sound. No birds, no insects, nothing but their own breathing and the soft crunch of dead leaves beneath their feet. The front door hung askew on broken hinges, revealing a throat of darkness beyond. Sarah's EMF detector began crackling before they even entered, its needle dancing frantically. "The electromagnetic field here is off the charts," she murmured, pulling out her thermal camera. Inside, the orphanage was a tomb of peeling wallpaper and rotting floorboards. Children's drawings still clung to the walls, stick figures with too many limbs, houses with no doors, and everywhere the same phrase scrawled in crayon: "They're still here." Marcus's camera suddenly went dead, fresh batteries drained in seconds. "What the hell?" He fumbled for replacements when Sarah grabbed his arm, her fingers ice cold through his jacket. "Listen," she breathed. From somewhere deep in the building came the sound of children singing, a nursery rhyme, distorted and wrong, the voices hollow and multiplied as if echoing from the bottom of a well. The melody crawled under their skin, making their teeth ache. They followed the sound up a staircase that groaned like a dying animal. On the second floor, doors lined a narrow hallway, each one slightly ajar. Sarah's thermal camera showed impossible cold spots shaped like small bodies, moving between the rooms. In the third room, they found them, dozens of children's beds, still made with moldering blankets. But it was the walls that made Marcus retch. Scratches covered every surface, fingernail marks that spelled out names, dates, and one word repeated, and the singing stopped. In the sudden silence, they heard breathing that wasn't their own, wet, labored, multiplied. Sarah's equipment went haywire, lights flashing, alarms screaming. Through the thermal camera, she saw them clearly now. Children, or what had been children, their forms twisted and elongated, mouths open too wide, eyes nothing but dark hollows. "We need to leave, now." Sarah's professional composure shattered, but the door slammed shut. All the doors slammed shut, the sound like gunshots in sequence. The temperature plummeted until their breath came in painful gasps. The scratching started, inside the walls, above the ceiling, beneath the floor, as if hundreds of small hands were clawing to get out, or in. Marcus screamed as something touched his neck, fingers, small and cold and wrong. In the darkness, shapes moved with impossible angles, children crawling on the ceiling, their heads turned backward, singing that horrible song again. Sarah's flashlight illuminated a figure in the corner, a woman in a nurse's uniform, her face a ruin of decay, cradling something wrapped in a blanket. She rocked back and forth, humming. As they watched in paralyzed horror, she turned toward them, and the blanket fell away to reveal nothing, just her arms cradling empty air. But she cooed and whispered to it, as if it were alive. "My children," the nurse thing rasped, her voice like grinding glass. "They were so hungry. I fed them everything, but they're still so hungry." The walls began to bleed, thick, black substance that reeked of rot and copper. The children things emerged from the shadows, their bodies wrong, stretched, bones jutting at impossible angles. They moved in jerky, stop-motion lurches, surrounding Sarah and Marcus. Marcus's sanity snapped. He ran blindly, crashing through the door, wood splintering around him. Sarah followed, both of them racing through the maze of corridors as the building itself seemed to shift and change, walls appearing where doors should be, stairs leading nowhere. Behind them, the singing grew louder, joined by the sound of small feet, too many feet, running, crawling, skittering across every surface. Sarah glanced back once and saw them, a tide of hollow children, their mouths gaping black holes, reaching with two long arms. They burst through a window, glass shredding their clothes, and ran across the grounds. But even outside, they could hear it, the orphanage breathing, pulsing like a living thing. They didn't stop running until they reached their car. As they sped away, Sarah looked in the rearview mirror. For just a moment, she saw them, dozens of small figures, standing in the windows, watching, and in the attic window, the nurse, still cradling her invisible burden. Marcus never spoke of that night. He quit journalism, moved across the country, but still wakes screaming about hungry children with hollow eyes. Sarah's equipment, when reviewed, showed only static and shadows, but in certain frames, if you looked closely, you could see them, small handprints on the lens, appearing from inside the camera. The Grimwood orphanage still stands, still waits, and on quiet nights, locals say you can hear it, children singing, though no children have lived there for 40 years. They sing about hunger that never ends, about the nurse who fed them everything, and about the visitors who sometimes come, but never leave.
Still hungry.